Hello and welcome to a healthy, low-carb What I Ate in a Day. If you're new, I'm Kristi, and I lost over 70 pounds doing dirty keto. About 3 years ago, I was diagnosed with type 1 diabetes, so I transitioned to a low-carb lifestyle, and these days I'm trying to eat cleaner and eliminate ultra-processed foods. We'll see how that goes. The plan for today, well, that's going to be a little different because I'm going to incorporate some intermittent fasting till around noon, maybe 1. And then there will be lunch, dinner, and of course the infamous snack and chat. That's when we're going to get caught up because a lot's happened lately. I'm going to fill you in on a doctor's appointment I had this past week. I'm going to touch on why I've not been around much lately. And then we're going to dive into possibly, maybe, definitely, the most controversial topic of the last 40 years, maybe? I don't know. It's a touchy subject that I have avoided. I'm not even sure how much of it I can talk about here, how much detail I could give without getting this video or myself banned. Anywho, we're gonna save that for the chat and give me a few hours to work up the courage to go over it. For now, as you can hear, I'm having some ice water filled up my Stanley, and I'm gonna try to get all of that in before I eat anything. So don't move a muscle. I'll be back soon with a really easy, quick, convenient, healthy meal. Chris knows how overwhelmed and down in the dumps I've been the past few days, so he brought me flowers. 1 o'clock and my belly says it's time for lunch. This morning I put some kraut and weenies in a mini crock pot and I let them cook for several hours. The kraut I used has only 3 ingredients: cabbage, water, and salt. The hot dogs are Applegate organic grass-fed beef that's minimally processed. Clean ingredients and things you'd find in your pantry at home. All I had to do was steam some broccoli and I added salt and butter to the top of that. Then I filled my Stanley with ice water and lunch is served. This one is the 30 ounce. You can pick it up off of Amazon if you're interested in grabbing one, so I'll have it linked in the description box. I got a question, just because I'm curious. Kraut and weenies, is it a southern thing or is it something everybody eats? I'm going to do a quick rundown of my snack and then we'll move on to the chat. I've been meal prepping chia seed pudding lately, and today's flavor combo is lemon blueberry with only 4 simple ingredients. I used a few drops of fresh squeezed lemon juice, blueberries, chia seeds, and unsweetened almond milk. I'm also taking a B12. This is a sublingual. It just works best for me. Now, normally I take it in the morning when I get up, but right now I'm in the process of changing my vitamins around a little bit, adding some things, and anyways, B12 right now. Normally, I love our little talks. It's like therapy for me. If I have a problem, well, let me just say, you guys are amazing, supportive, always offering suggestions, so helpful. But this one, I've not been looking forward to. It has me a nervous wreck. It revolves around a touchy subject that tends to spark downright blind rage in some folks. And that's not my intention here. I honestly don't know what I can and can't say without getting into trouble. I think it's time to test the waters and see if I get banned from YouTube. Chris keeps encouraging me to open up, to share more, and to let you all know the real experience I've been dealing with. If this could end up helping one other person searching and struggling like I have all these years, then it's worth it. I do want to remind everyone that I'm not a medical professional and this is not advice. Make sure you talk to your team if you have any questions and do your own research. Speaking of research, I'm going to have some links down in the description box, some YouTube channels that you might want to check out, as well as some articles and papers that you might find helpful. I'm not going to be going into a lot of detail I want to test things out, like I said, and see what happens when I release this video. If all goes well, meaning I don't get the boot and there's a positive response, I might do a dedicated video with information overload, all the dates, times, the good, the bad, the ugly. But as for right now, I'm going to keep it short and sweet and just go over the highlights. Last week, I had a doctor's appointment. It was just routine follow-up so we could have some one-on-one, face-to-face time, touch base, and see if anything's changed. The office I go to specializes in functional medicine, and if I had to describe what is functional medicine, it's a more personalized approach to healthcare. It's also science-based, but it's about getting to the root cause. We did discuss type 1 diabetes because my physician is also a type 1 diabetic, and that's been a huge help. Just having someone that understands what I'm going through, what I'm talking about. It wasn't just like he was educated in it, he knows. I was letting him know that I've finally come to terms, got a grip with the fact that I'm a type 1 diabetic, and now that my blood sugar's under control, I don't understand why all of the other issues and symptoms that I came down with at the same time haven't went away. Because that was what we were hoping for, that all of these symptoms, all of these horrible reactions and issues that I was having were because of type 1 diabetes, which now looking back didn't make sense because people live with type 1 diabetes all the time and they don't have debilitating, chronic fatigue where they can't even get out of bed. Brain fog. I mean, we're talking cognitive impairment. I've lost IQ points. I can't think straight. My ability to understand simple directions or something I've read is gone. Headaches, vertigo, joint pain, swelling, insomnia, chest pain and tightness, shortness of breath, unexplained fevers, mouth sores. The list goes on and on. Every day for 3.5 years, and some days it feels like all of those things are getting worse, not better. Prepare yourself, because here comes the controversial part of story time. I was healthy as a horse up until the summer of 2021. I'm not exaggerating when I say that I never got sick. It had been over 2 decades since my last cold. But June of that year, I started having episodes of just not feeling good, run down, tired. I chalked it up to possibly being a vitamin deficiency. And in September, when I couldn't take it anymore, I went to the doctor and had some labs drawn. Everything came back perfect, except for my blood sugar. It was 300. In the very beginning, I was misdiagnosed as a type 2 diabetic, and I told them, do not put that in my chart. I would get a second opinion. Second, third, and fourth opinion confirmed that I had type 1 diabetes. I had no family history and never had any issues with my blood sugar in the past. So when I asked my doctors, 4 separate doctors confirmed that in their opinion, type 1 diabetes was triggered in me as an immune response to a vaccine that I had recently got just 3 months prior. Those doctors also said it could have been any illness that I got, any vaccine or shot or stress that I was under could have brought it on. It just so happens to have been that vaccine. You know the one I'm talking about. It was a hard adjustment. It was a whole new lifestyle. And I chalked up the fact that everything else that I mentioned earlier that was going on was related to that diagnosis and my fluctuating blood sugar levels. But now that my blood sugar is stable, pretty much all the time, and those are still hanging around, we started discussing other possibilities, things that have never crossed my mind in the past, but now make perfect sense. Let me spell it out for you. I've never had COVID, not once. Like I said, I still to this day don't get sick with illnesses. It's just everything else that's happening. But what I did have was the COVID shot and the booster. Recently, a lot of research has been coming out about long COVID and long vax. Again, no idea about either of those, but now that I'm looking into long vax as a possible diagnosis, it's shocking how every single one of my symptoms lines up. Since that visit, my doctor has sent me lots more information, websites to peruse, as he put it, and I am starting a new protocol, and I'm going to be testing some medications, some vitamins to see how they work for me and if it changes anything. If this is what it turns out to be, it's very scary because there is no fix for long vax. It's something about mRNA, spike protein, and your immune system, and your body is always on the defense, and it doesn't look good. So I've been very overwhelmed the past week. I dove into the research, trying to make myself feel better, but the more I find out, the more depressed I get and the more worried. Hopefully more research will be done into how this all came about, how to somehow possibly fix it. I'm going to remain optimistic because what other choice do I have? Now, for the reason that I wanted to talk about it during today's chat, if you're having unexplained symptoms, if you think maybe you have an autoimmune disease, but your doctors can't pinpoint which one, and your symptoms are all over the place, they just never go away or clear up, think back. How long ago was it that they started? 3, 4, 2 years ago? If this is a recent occurrence, you might want to look into those two things, long COVID and long vax, and bring it to your doctor's attention. And you may end up like me, going through multiple doctors until you find the one that is dedicated to helping you. Okay, I just wanted to put it out there and let you know a little bit about what's been going on behind the scenes and why I've been censoring myself for the past several years. It's because I've not been able to talk about it. We'll see how today's video goes and if I get in trouble. If not, more is coming. So let me know your thoughts in the comments. And this was not meant to push anybody's buttons. I love you guys. I'll see you when I eat or anything important happens. 6 o'clock and time to throw together a quick and easy dinner. Tonight we're having low-carb chicken and rice stir-fry. I'm using a 10-ounce bag of organic riced cauliflower. This one has no additional sauces or seasonings. And half a bag of frozen stir-fry veggies. I didn't steam either of these in the microwave first. I just dumped them in a large pan and sprinkled in some of the Flavor God Everything Spicy seasoning. While that was warming, I cooked up some chicken in olive oil and some more of the Everything Spicy. Once the chicken was finished, I mixed it in with the veggies and bam, a delicious, filling, low-carb, healthy meal in under 10 minutes. To drink, same as always, a big old Stanley full of water. Don't forget, I have a link with a discount in the description box if you're interested in picking up some of Flavor God's seasonings. This is not a sponsored video, we just love their products that much. It's 7:30, but I'm so tired I think I'm gonna go lay down. Scroll through X, aka Twitter, and hopefully fall asleep soon. Thanks for hanging out with me today. Remember, everything mentioned is gonna be linked down in the description box for you, along with a ton of discount codes if you order anything online. Until next time, friends, remember, I love you, you've got this, and I'll see you soon.